The fire is dying. You're sitting on cold ground, maybe a cave floor, maybe packed dirt. The sky above you is absolutely enormous. No streetlights. No blue glow from a phone. No Netflix queue quietly judging you for being awake at 2 a.m. Just darkness, a dwindling flame, and somewhere out there, something moving. Now here's the question that has genuinely never left researchers alone. What were our ancient ancestors actually doing out there, every single night, for hundreds of thousands of years? Because here's the thing. We assume we know. We assume they slept. Early, hard, like exhausted animals. Sun goes down, eyes close, done. That's the version most of us quietly carry around. And it turns out that version is almost completely wrong. Anthropologist David Sampson at the University of Toronto has spent years studying what he calls the sleep ecology of early humans. And his research, published in 2017 in the American Journal of Physical Anthropology, landed on something genuinely strange. Modern hunter-gatherer groups. The closest living window we have into pre-agricultural life. Sleep less than almost any other primate on Earth. Chimpanzees sleep around 9 to 10 hours a night. Wild gorillas, closer to 12. But the Hadza people of Tanzania, one of the most studied surviving forager groups, average just over 6 hours. They go to sleep late. They wake up early. And the hours in between aren't spent unconscious in a pile somewhere. Multiple community members are awake and active at almost every point through the night. Sampson calls this the sentinel hypothesis. The idea is straightforward and slightly unsettling. A group where someone is always awake is a group that doesn't get quietly eaten. Natural selection didn't reward deep synchronized sleep. It rewarded the group that kept irregular, staggered rest cycles, so there was never a window when every single set of eyes was closed. You didn't evolve to sleep 8 hours straight. You evolved to be the person who woke up at 3 a.m. and couldn't get back to sleep. That's not a disorder. That's the system working. But here's where it gets genuinely interesting. Because staying awake wasn't just about survival. Turns out, the firelit hours of the night were where a completely different category of human behavior lived. Jerome Lewis, a social anthropologist at University College London, documented this in fieldwork with the Bayaka people of the Congo Basin. What he found was that nighttime around the fire was structurally different from daytime. During the day, tasks. Tool-making, foraging, cooking, the logistics of staying alive. At night, stories. Music, ritual, the singing could go on for hours. Polyphonic vocal music, sometimes through the entire night. Trance states. Laughter, conversations that only happen when the work is done, and the dark makes the world feel smaller. Lewis's argument is striking. He proposes that this nighttime fire culture was the origin point of a specific kind of human cognition. The capacity for symbolic, imaginative, collective thought. The fire extended the social day. It created a space that didn't exist in the animal kingdom before it. A protected, illuminated zone where predators lurked at the edge of the light, where warmth and safety and total darkness outside produced something like an altered state. The fire made the night a room, and in that room the modern human mind started assembling itself. Now pause on that for a second, because this is the part nobody tells you. We tend to think of ancient life as purely survival mode, every behavior adaptive in some blunt mechanical way, but the archaeological record keeps handing us evidence that doesn't fit. The oldest known cave paintings, El Castillo in Spain, where a red ochre disc has been dated to at least 40,800 years ago, are deep inside cave systems. Not near the entrances. Deep, reachable only by firelight. Which means someone carried a flame into the dark on purpose, walked past every reasonable stopping point, and made art where no one could see it by daylight. That's not practical. That is something else. Will Robrooks at Leiden University has argued that pigment use of this kind implies an interior mental life, symbol, self, meaning. That doesn't map onto basic survival. And the deepest art was almost certainly made by firelight, in the middle of the night, in the most extreme version of the space Lewis describes. Here's the theory that ties this together. Robin Dunbar at Oxford has proposed that the cognitive leap separating humans from every other primate, language, abstract thought, planning across time, didn't emerge in the daytime world of practical tasks. It emerged in the nighttime world of storytelling and music around fire. His social brain theory suggests these extended firelit sessions were the pressure that expanded the prefrontal cortex. You didn't get smarter to do more work. You got smarter to navigate more complex social reality. And the laboratory for that complexity was the fire, at night, for thousands of generations. Think about the last conversation that actually changed how you thought about something. It probably wasn't at 2 p.m. on a Tuesday. It was probably late, dark. You were tired enough that your defenses were down, comfortable enough to say things you'd normally keep to yourself. That loosening, that specific feeling, may be something genuinely ancient, not a modern accident, a design feature. The Hadza still do this. The Bayaka still do this. Night, for these communities, is not a gap in the day. It's a separate world with its own rules. And the things that happened in that world, the stories told, the songs sung, the images painted deep in the dark, are the things that made us. So next time you're awake at midnight, staring at the ceiling, you're not broken. You're basically Paleolithic. What story do you think ancient humans told each other most around the fire? Drop it in the comments, genuinely curious what you think. The fire never really went out.